For all the latest updates, subscribe to News9.
President Donald Trump faces more opposition over reopening of schools in the United States. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says it will not revise its guidelines for reopening schools. President Trump had recently said he would put pressure on all governors to reopen schools in the fall. Dr. Robert Redfield, director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said their recommendation to reopen schools is based on science. Our recommendation to reopen schools is based on science. CDC governor aims to protect the health of students, and we have multiple strategies available for schools to implement to reopen safely. President Trump had criticized CDC's existing guidelines on reopening of schools and said they were very tough. Dr. Robert Redfield said they will provide additional reference documents but ruled out changing guidelines. CDC has outlined a number of strategies that schools can use to reopen safely. In addition to our guidelines, CDC will soon provide reference documents for parents, caregivers, and schools to help them test and monitor for symptoms and use face coverings. Health experts have also expressed concern over reopening of schools amid increasing COVID-19 cases. The White House advisor and scientist Dr. Anthony Fauci also warned against reopening schools in a hasty manner. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi also opposed Trump's move, saying it is premature to reopen schools now.
As a mother and a grandmother, we all, and everybody I know, wants to open up the schools. Indeed, a large percentage, overwhelmingly, the teachers want to open up the schools. But it has to be safe for the children. And to be safe for the children, we must attack this coronavirus. We must kill it off. We cannot ignore it, and we cannot call it a hoax.
Nancy Pelosi criticized Donald Trump for putting undue pressure on authorities to reopen schools.
And we cannot misrepresent the facts as to what the status of it is. In order for the children to go back to school, our state and local governments have to function. That's what the HEROES Act is about.
The U.S. House Speaker said CDC guidelines on reopening of schools should not be changed.
So we have to have common sense weigh in on this, common sense to listen to the scientist, and not CDC regulations that are predicated on a tweet. On a tweet. What? We always want any guidance that we get to be updated by the scientific knowledge and the rest, but this to be downgraded on a tweet just tells you how senseless all of this is.
Nancy Pelosi said she wants schools to reopen this fall, but it must not be hurried and put the lives of children at risk.
No, we don't want our children to take risk to go to school. We're supposed to mitigate for any damage. We're supposed to keep them safe.
President Trump has been pushing for reopening of schools despite a warning by officials and health experts. We want to get our schools open. We want the schools open quickly and beautifully in the fall. And as you know, this is a horrible disease, but young people do extraordinarily well. We are very much going to put pressure on governors and everybody else to open the schools. It's very important for our country. It's very important for the well-being of students and parents. Health experts and many parents are not keen on sending kids back to school at this juncture. The United States remains the worst affected country in the world due to COVID-19. According to Johns Hopkins University website, the US reported more than 133,200 COVID-19 deaths and over 3.1 million infections.